Ciao gente. Thank you for clicking on the video. I play PvZ and I have a horrible stutter, so please keep that in mind. And that's it, so enjoy the video, punks. Garden Warfare 2 has a lot of character classes. You have Batman, a small child, a war veteran, and a damn goat? So let's go over the easiest zombie and plant class for you to dominate lobbies. Alongside that, a few tips and tricks from a 5,000 hour player on this game. I have a sad life. Anyway, let's get to it. On the zombie team, we have All-Star. The All-Star is your average big health dude with a massive gun. A big health as in 200 health, which is the same health as the mighty Super Brains and this dumb orange. He's really fat. Upon holding your primary weapon, and you will rev it up for 1 second, then continue to fire 10 billion footballs. The primary may seem it has an infinite ammo, but after firing for a short while, your weapon will overheat. Your weapon being overheated means you can't shoot anything for a few seconds. To avoid overheating, I like using a strategy called tap firing. Tap firing is where you're shooting, letting go of your primary for not even a second, and then carry on shooting. What this strategy does is trick the game into thinking you're not shooting, which allows you to not overheat pretty much ever. The All-Star's primary is most effective at close and medium range distances. The All-Star's long range game isn't really the greatest, and his abilities don't really help him out there either. Firing out in the open is tough as All-Star, since while shooting, you move slower, which makes you a very easy target for cacti to just snipe, which is why it's always best whenever you shoot from a medium range distance to shoot behind cover. You never want to be shooting out in the open as All-Star. Always position yourself either behind cover, a wall, any sort of surface, just so you can shoot at the plant and they have a harder time shooting you. Which leads us perfectly into the All-Star's abilities. The shield dummy does everything we just said, but kind of handicapped. Depending on the direction you're facing, you place down a giant shield and can shoot right behind it. You need to remember though, it does not have much health. So plants, I could simply just fire at it and then it will be destroyed pretty damn easily. The shield could also be used to block beam bombs perfectly. This is performed by looking straight at the beam bomb, pressing shield dummy, and that's about it. This tech will not work if you shield dummy at an angled direction, so be careful of that. Your second ability is sprint tackle. Sprint tackle is a quick burst option of 75 damage. This ability is best used in 1 versus 1 situations. The reason for this is if the plant is smacked with 75 damage to the face, they're most likely going to lose that fight no matter what. Which means if you see a group of plants, don't sprint tackle into them. You will die. You can also use this ability as a heavy movement option to go really quick. To perform this, use sprint tackle, don't hold any movement options, and just spam jump. It's as easy as that. Me personally, I really think that sprint tackle is best used for its movement rather than its damage, and here's why. Most of the time, it's way better to just use your primary on a plant rather than using sprint tackle. And since sprint tackle recharges so quick, you can just very easily just zoom around the map with 0 penalty. Your last ability is impunt. Upon pressing the ability, you will punt out a small child with explosives. If the impunt explodes next to a plant, it will deal a heavy 150 damage. This ability is best used up close right next to a plant and for beginning fights. It's best used for a beginning of fight due to the plant not being able to react to a small child on the ground, and then they just get exploded. If you see a plant at range and still want to bomb them, just hold forward, jump, and use impunt at the same time and watch your child fly. The impunt also has a tech to completely burrow cancel a chomper. To perform this, stand beside a wall, wait for the chomper to be just in your range, and then toss your impunt towards that wall at the correct time. With all done correctly, you should receive a hate message from that same chomper player who you just killed. A massive bonus is that you can also use a shield dummy to function as your wall. And finally, here's some gameplay of everything we talked about for the All-Star class. Over on the plant side, we have Sunflower. Sunflower, unlike All-Star, does not have 200 health, but rather 110, which makes her incredibly squishy and low health. Her primary is fully automatic with no restrictions towards her movement. This primary is effective at mostly any range and hitting really damn hard too. I try to always aim for the zombie's head no matter what, since he'll be hitting immense damage and make sure the zombies go home crying to their mama. Sunflower has a unique gimmick of having a shorter revive time. Normally, reviving a teammate takes 5 entire seconds. However, as Sunflower, it only takes 2 seconds. With this in mind, if you see on the ground a dead teammate, revive them, of course. However, there are moments when reviving a teammate is not great in the slightest.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
I am so...
If your teammate's dead body is either out in the open or in front of multiple zombies, just let that plant respawn. And the reason for this is, even if you do revive that plant, you and that plant will most likely die due to A, those zombies who just killed that teammate will kill you, or being out in the open is dangerous, so you will just get lasered to hell and back. So don't do that. There is also a strategy called jump resing. Jump resing allows you to move while you're resing a teammate. This tech is performed by running towards the dead body, letting go of your movement stick or keys, and then spam jump as you're resing. If you've performed this correctly, you will be moving while reviving. Kinda crazy, man. This tech is amazing for reviving a teammate behind cover, so they're in a safer place upon a revival. Since reviving a teammate in this game is depending on where you are. So depending on where you're standing, that's where that teammate will be revived. Which means you could do stuff like this, and it's kind of funny, I guess. Sunflower is the plant's main healer with 2 abilities to help with that role. Her first ability is called Heal Beam. Upon pressing Heal Beam beside any teammate or potted plant, it will leech on a beam of healing onto the target. The healing provided is healing over time of 2s, which means that plant won't be healed back to full health in an instant and rather just healed over time. Your heal beam could also cleanse any negative effect on an ally. If it's either fire, ice, or toxic, it can be wiped right away with a single click of a button. Try to break into the habit of always having your heal beam leech onto any teammate. There is zero reason why you shouldn't have heal beam attached onto a target right beside you. Even if they're on full health, who cares? Just attach it. It's one button click. There is also a very strong healing tech to heal teammates faster. We go over how to do that tech in this video right here. Your third ability is Heal Flower. Upon pressing this ability, you will place down a potted plant in the direction you are facing. The Heal Flower on the ground drops big heal drops at a slow rate for you or teammates to pick up. The Heal Flower on the ground won't last forever though. It will despawn after a certain amount of time, so be warned for that. It's always best to use this ability behind cover. Treat your Heal Flower as a sort of safe zone. Wherever you place down your Heal Flower, your teammates will most likely go to that for healing and stay there. Dropping the Heal Flower out in the open allows for zombies to easily vanquish it, and also forces your teammates to go out in the open just for healing. And why would you do that? Your second ability is Sunbeam. Upon activating the ability, Sunflower will be strapped down onto the ground and receive a brand new primary weapon. With this primary, you fire a literal laser beam with 100 ammo. This ability deals relatively high damage and it could be fired as soon as you enter the ability. So make sure to already hold down your primary ready to fire. However though, it's incredibly risky to use this ability due to foot soldiers. A foot soldier has an ability called ZPG, which deals 250 damage no matter the range, which means you being strapped down to the ground makes you unable to move. A foot soldier player sees this and will throw a rocket right towards your skull. So with this in mind, never stay in this ability for a long period of time. Use the ability, snag a kill, and then immediately en route to avoid any foot soldier ZPGs. Sunflower's main weakness is her health and lack of mobility options. If a zombie is a close range to Sunflower, that zombie will most of the time win due to Sunflower's low health pool. So with this in mind, try to always stick by any sort of teammate as Sunflower. It doesn't matter who your teammate is, just stick by them no matter what. You have low health, you have a heal beam as well, and as we went over, always make sure heal beam is attached to anyone near you. And yeah, never play close range as Sunflower, always stay either long range or mid range. If the teammate you're healing decides to charge head first into the battlefield, just let them. You have 10 other teammates on your team, so letting someone die due to their own mistake is their fault, not yours. So don't go chasing after them and let yourself die. You being alive as a healer for your team is top priority, so always remember that you are important and you matter. And finally, here's some gameplay of everything that we talked about for the Sunflower class.